Ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up, but we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch bison's ass so hard that the next bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me?
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 296. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for the Rated G Network, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/RatedG4Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan. I had way too much turkey, Robinson.
Dave. I just want to. I'm going crazy. I'm high on turkey.
You're going crazy. Well, I mean, yeah. You get that little bit of gravy injection.
Turkey and sweet potato pie. Woo! I am high on turkey and sweet potato pie and stuffing.
Same.
And I don't know what you have. I got mac and cheese, rice and peas. I got a Caribbean family, so some jerk chicken, some oxtails, all mixed up in there.
All right. I was with you up until the sweet potatoes. Not that I wouldn't have any of that stuff. That sounds amazing. But my mom.
Oh, we have two types of sweet potato. We have like regular sweet potatoes, like a casserole type of thing, and then we have sweet potato pie.
Oh,
right.
Oh,
so, and then somebody had pecan pie. I mean, I can keep naming food. Thanksgiving was off the hook. We did it. This is the first year. We're like WrestleMania. We did it 2 days in a row.
Oh my God, back to back. There you go.
Like there WrestleMania, baby.
I love it.
2 days in a row.
I love it. So. I want to hear about those 2 days. We had a pretty traditional Thanksgiving, minus my brother. He couldn't make it up. R.I.P. He had to work, which kind of sucked. But I
thought he was dead. You said R.I.P. You said R.I.P.
All right, R.I.P. on the vacation.
Okay, all right.
So he had
alive.
He had no. He good.
Okay,
he had a little mini 9-pound turkey and all the sides and all that, and then we like kind of talked after dinner. The only audible that we had this year, besides having like a neighbor come by, my mom got a neighbor friend to come by from around the corner, sweet little lady. But the only thing that was an audible this year is that our sweet potatoes, my mom put the marshmallows on top, let them bake in. Oh, it's pretty good.
Okay.
It's pretty good. So it's pretty good. Otherwise, traditional. We didn't do anything crazy. No mac and cheese on the table. Although I would have gladly eaten it. So.
All right. So this is. I do love Thanksgiving. Is my favorite holiday because I love to eat.
It's up there. It's top three. It's top three.
I love to eat.
Yeah.
I love to eat, and I love hearing different dishes that people because the different dishes that people have at their tables, right? Like I was talking to a friend of mine. He's Indian, so I love to hear like what does he have on Thanksgiving? Like he's an Indian American, right? So so he's American but of Indian descent. So
sure,
I want to know what does he have on the table, and I have a work colleague who's Chinese American. What is like he has totally different things. Everybody has the turkey and the stuffing / dressing. And if you don't know what that means, if you don't stuff the turkey, then it's called dressing, right?
Yep.
It's not called stuffing because you're not stuffing it.
Obviously. Right.
Other than those two things, everything is vastly different, right? So I just want to tell you, Dave, I love you, man. But black people usually don't put the marshmallows in the sweet Sweet
My
potato.
family, my mom usually doesn't do it either, but she was like, I'm going to go a little crazy, throw some marshmallows on there. You know what, though? I thought it was going to be too sweet. It was good. It was good. And they kind of like melted a little bit on top, so you kind of got like a nice marshmallow frosting on top. Oh my god! Oh,
So
it was
I'm not saying it's bad because I've had it with the marshmallows.
You have
and,
okay.
And not on Thanksgiving, but I had it like at like a Boston market, right? Like it had marshmallows in it, and
Sure.
it's good. It's good. It actually is surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Somebody did buy a bag of mashed potatoes.
A bag of marshmallows.
It's a bag of marshmallows.
A bag of mashed potatoes. Okay.
Somebody had a bag of. There are bags of mashed potatoes. Funny enough.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Somebody had a bag of marshmallows that remained unopened the whole night.
Oh my god.
Because I think
they tried.
I think they were going to put it in the sweet potatoes, and then somebody said, "Yeah, we don't do that."
No, we're putting the kibosh on that. I could take it or leave it. I thought it was nice. Sweet potatoes on their own are fantastic when they're cooked proper. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you had a good Thanksgiving, and you had it like sort of a traditional with your family.
Yeah.
Around. Do you guys say grace? You guys like have like a grace thing, or just like dive in when the food's ready? Mom says it's ready. Dad says it's ready. You just go dive in.
Yeah, like every now and again we'll be like, my mom will be have a couple drinks. So go, what are you thankful for? Let's go around the table. But we usually don't do any of that. We just kind of jump right in. Right in. Because you're sitting in the house, right, and you're having a couple beers, and you're watching the Lions lose yet again, right, and
and the Cowboys,
right,
and watching them lose.
you get the turkey in the air, right? It just permeates the house, and you're like, I want to eat like right now, but it's only like 1:00, right? It's barely halftime. So by the time my mom says, "All right, everybody in, dinner's ready," we don't have time to say grace. Like your stomach is saying, "All right, go," and we jump right in. I'm not opposed to it by any means, but no, my stomach's like, you got to eat, and you got to eat now.
So we had a 2-day Thanksgiving, and the first day was with sort of like the older part of the family, like the some sort of the older people of the family, right? I have like the matriarch of the family, like she makes sure everybody is in line, and we had more of a traditional style Thanksgiving on the actual Thursday on the day, right? And it was like say grace. Everybody has to wash your hands. You had to dress up.
Oh,
dressed up.
Yeah.
Up a little bit.
Oh, I had a button down with the sweater over the top. Come on now.
Okay. Come on now. Right. And then the kids had their table and the adults had their table, and we all sat down. And then night 2, my cousin had, he's in a condo complex in Jersey, and they have like its event center, and it was awesome because it was like, in the summertime, like you have access to the pool if you rent it out. Obviously nobody was going to the pool. It's not a heated pool. So, and more of the younger crowd in my family, right? Like this was like, it felt more like a Friendsgiving than a Thanksgiving, right?
Okay.
It was a little bit of the younger crowd, and it turned into a party, right? Because the older people were playing pool, and right next to the pool table, the younger people made a dance floor, and they played music.
There you go.
The food was just laid out buffet style, and you can, if you want to get food, you can get food. If you don't, it's fine. You can just dance and play pool, and the kids were in a separate. They sort of had like a separate thing for like a playground, indoor playground for like the younger kids, and then they had like a separate closed off place where all made all like glass, so you could see in. So there's no privacy or anything. It's like a workstations with like desks for computers and stuff, and they had like the TVs on the wall, and the kids started playing Fortnite.
Oh, there you go.
So
did you get in on that? Did you get in on the Fortnite?
My little cousin, he's like 12 or 13 at this point. He says I'm not good enough to play Fortnite with him, so no. I didn't get in on that.
He said, Dan with the podcast about video games can't hang. Wow.
Yeah, I told him. I told him he sucked in 2K, NBA 2K. He can't hang with me.
Yeah. You get him in the cross. There you go. Pick and
hang
roll,
with me
right?
in 2K,
Boom.
baby.
Shovel pass to the side, 3-point. Boom. Can't hang.
I will say this. Every year, I think we've done the show. This is what, year 5, year 6 of doing the show, and every Thanksgiving.
This is year 6? Year 6?
Every Thanksgiving, I come on and I say, "Man, I wish I went to the Thanksgiving Day parade every year," and I never go. I never go. But it's always video. Listen, they always headline video game related stuff, right?
Yeah.
Sonic the Hedgehog, Pikachu, and Eevee, which are Pokemon, right? Are and Baby Yoda, which is pop culture, not video game related, but pop culture. All headline the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade 2021. So
that's fantastic.
And every year, Sonic almost flies away because he's Sonic. He's faster than anything.
He's got to go fast.
He's got to go fast.
Oh, so, love it. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. I don't know if I ever told you, but quick little story. One year, and I regret this to this day. This was like, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago or whatever. And it was just me and my parents. And they were like, "Oh, we're going to go to the parade tomorrow, we think. Like, do you want to come with and all that? We'll make it a day, And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome." Flash forward till the morning. I end up sleeping on the couch. My parents, at I don't know, 5:30 in the morning. They're poking me. They're like, "All right, get up. We got to go." I don't want to go. My parents go to the parade without me, come back, me being the degenerate 20-year-old, still sleeping on the couch. Oh.
Wow.
It's the one time they went to the parade. I should have went with them because they're like, we've never been. We want to go one time. And they were still young and spry. They could kind of handle it. I should have went with them. Ugh, I'm an idiot then. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I don't think I ever heard that story. You were 20?
I was 20, 24 maybe. Yeah, 25.
Right, so Nixon was still president. Yeah, their parents were
Nixon was still president. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. They still had the circus animals in the parade. This was pre-float.
Yeah.
Christ.
It makes sense. It makes sense. No wonder they were still young and spry. Okay, I got it. All right, Dave. We have an awesome show this week. Coming up, we're going to talk about some of the winners. We're going to discuss some of the winners from the Golden Joystick Awards 2021. This always happens. I always forget about it because it always happens right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we're also going to talk about Cyberpunk 2077 getting good reviews. Right? We'll get into that later on. But let's begin the show with some Black Friday / Cyber Monday pickups. We haven't did pickups on the regular show in a while, right? We sort of reserved the pickups for our retro theme show, Saturday Morning Retro. As full, sort of side note, not having a Saturday Morning Retro show this month, but we have a special Saturday Morning Retro coming up in December, and we'll talk more about that as the weeks go on. But did you get any good pickups over the holiday week?
I got a couple. I was pretty reserved this year. And I got to be honest, the Square Enix sale wasn't great.
Wasn't great. Not a lot. No PS1 games.
No.
They're done.
I think they may have gotten rid of all their stock.
Did you get a little Samson? Did you get a little Samson?
I wish. I got me a Ring Fit Adventure.
Okay.
For almost half price.
All right.
Very happy about that.
You're going to be Diesel. You're going to be
Hell yeah, I'm going to be Diesel.
Okay.
It'll be buff AF. And I got Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz, right? Okay. And I got that for the Switch. I got the Final Fantasy 10 and 10-2 HD remaster for the PS4. And I got a security camera for the home. That was it. 4 things. 4 things. I kept it light.
Kept it light. That's good. I got, since I have the Switch OLED, I didn't get a micro SD card for it because I was waiting for the holidays to come. And I got 250 gigabyte one.
256.
Right?
Nice.
Yeah. For like $20. It was like $20 online. I wanted 400, but it was sold out. I was on it for 400.
I was eyeing that one too. Yeah, I was eyeing that one, and
Everybody wanted
said,
400 for like it was like $40, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
didn't get that, but I got the 256. So that actually should be here by tomorrow.
Nice.
I did get Demon Slayer from GameStop. I did get Demon Slayer. It's actually nominated for Fighting Game of the Year.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
So I definitely want to play that. I got that on the Xbox for the Xbox One. I got Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania Anniversary.
Oh, Banana Mania, that's it. Not a Banana Blitz, yeah.
Yeah, Banana Mania Anniversary. Got that for the Xbox, and I got Riders Republic for the Xbox as well.
I heard that's a very good game. A lot of people are sleeping on it, but
a lot of people were sleeping on it. It actually was nominated under racing and sports.
Yeah,
for Game of the Year.
And it is. It's a snowboarding extreme sports game. Yeah.
But bike riding, not snowboarding. But
that's right. Yeah.
The game that will win it, I did pick that up, and that was Forza Horizon 5. I got a physical edition.
Not just you're not just playing it off Game Pass, right? You got the physical edition. Got the physical edition. Now, no, was it on sale or no? Because I didn't see it necessarily on sale.
It was on sale on Amazon for one day for $49.99.
$10 off. That's not bad for like a brand new game that's like selling like hotcakes. Yeah, that's pretty good.
So I got that, and if you could see behind me, don't know if you're watching the video version, I got the Super Mario Kart Live. I got the Mario version, which I'm thinking I may get the Luigi if it's it's still in stock, $59.99. I might as well just get Luigi too, right? Because it will be 10 years from now, it will be the Luigi one that's like worth $1,000.
Because everyone's getting the Mario one. Yeah.
No one bought it, right? I will say that it's smaller than I expected. I thought it was going to be big because if you go into GameStop, they have the huge Mario Kart racer, and I guess in my mind, I thought that's what I was getting.
Are you kidding me? Dude, the gates would have to be like, boom, like the size of like you for the cart to fit through.
Yeah, I didn't realize this thing is small.
They are really small. They are definitely like double the size, if not even more, than a traditional like slot car racing set, right? Which are usually about like that big. Yeah. This is about maybe that big.
Okay, so the Mario Kart Live is the quadruple the size of like a Hot Wheels car.
Oh yeah.
But then the car that I saw was an actual like remote control radio car that's quadruple the size of that.
No.
So,
that'd be insane, man.
That would be insane.
Yeah.
That would be insane. So Black Friday, I sort of took a back seat to games because a lot of things I already had, right? Like there's only one thing that I didn't get that I still want to get, but I don't need to get it. And that is the Streets of Rage 4 Anniversary Edition, right? I already have Streets of 4. I already beat it twice. The Anniversary Edition just adds new characters, right?
Oh, it has the DLC built in. Yeah.
The DLC, yeah. So that's the only thing
which is worth it. It's the DLC. It's the 3 additional characters. It's the survival mode, and you do get alternate moves to use. Definitely in survival mode. It's not possibly in the regular mode, which is awesome.
It's not something that I need, right? I mean, I guess I don't need any of this stuff. Right?
No, you don't need any of this stuff, but it's worth it. It's worth it.
But I already beat it twice, so it's not something that I would be dying to play right away. If I didn't have or beat Streets of Rage 4, it would be something to get like Mr. Nightmare DLC, right?
Mr.
X. No. It says if you look at it says
Mr. X Nightmare. Yeah.
Nightmare. Okay.
Yeah. Combination.
So it's not something that it's something that I was like debating. It's on sale.
It's worth it, man. It's worth it. DLC is only $8 by itself.
I know, but come on, I'm a collector. I gotta have the physical.
I'm just saying. Well, you're already hemming and hawing. I don't know if I'm gonna buy that version. The DLC for $8.
Buy any of the versions. I'm gonna buy I'm gonna buy the physical.
You gotta get it. Come on. It's getting the Dave Rotino seal of approval. It's fantastic on the Dave scale.
So at some point in December, I'll pick it up because you know what? It's not gonna be sold out.
No. You can get it anywhere.
But with that said, it's going to be December, Dave. And you know what that means. We got to get into the notable games coming out in December. Now, got to be honest, December is usually bare. Not a lot of games are coming out, right? And I know we got a lot. I know we got a lot of all the Danganronpa games are coming that were on the PSP and the Vita. They're all coming to the Switch. They're all coming to the Switch. I'm not going to get into that because it's all digital. I don't see any physical releases.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I could be wrong. And please, if I'm wrong, please correct me at Rated G for Gamers on Twitter or Instagram or
I'm gonna have to sift through all the Dan doesn't know what he's talking about tweets.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. All two of them in the last 6 years. So
listen.
and one of them doesn't count because you did it. So
I don't know what you're talking about.
I
literally don't know what you're talking about, but okay.
The Danganronpa, all the Danganronpa games are coming to the Switch. So if you're a fan of that series, you could buy those digitally, right? But I will say this: you got to start this off right, and that is Life is Strange: True Colors. That's finally coming to the Switch.
The physical.
I beat it. I think it's the physical, but physical or digital versions are coming to the Switch. It was released for the Xbox and PS. The PlayStation back in September, but the Switch version will be out December 7th. And you know what? It's so good. I may nominate it for Game of the Year. It gets the Dan Robinson seal of approval.
Oh shit! Okay.
So definitely get it. Better than better than Life is Strange Season 2. I didn't really like that one. So, but the highlight of the month has to go to Halo Infinite, coming out on Xbox and PC December 8th, the next day.
Halo? Well, what is this Halo game? I don't think I've heard of this before.
Halo game? Yeah.
What is this Halo game?
I don't know. Right on the 20th anniversary, right? 20th anniversary of Halo being released. The original Halo.
Just about, yeah. November 15th. It's a couple weeks off, but I'll take it.
20 years in a month. 20 years in a month.
Well, technically, the multiplayer launched on the 15th. So they got that out the gate. They got that out on the gate. Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna talk about more about Halo Infinite in the multiplayer later in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's not all rosy, right? Everything's not all sunshine in Pennsylvania, but in Philadelphia. Sorry.
Oh, it's always sunny. I was like, they say that about Pennsylvania. They say that about Philly. Yeah.
They do say that about Philly.
Okay,
I
get it.
I can go for a cheesesteak. I'm hungry. I didn't eat anything all day.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna have to get a pizza after this show.
Mm-hmm.
December 16th, we have Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. That's coming out for PS5, PS4, and PC.
Yeah, and again, this is a departure. It's more of like a first-person adventure shooter, and not a sit in one place and be a security guard, which is cool. I respect them switching up the formula a little bit, I respect Scott Cawthorn for doing that, because, my God, I don't know how much you can milk one particular gimmick.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure this is the 6th game in the series, and they finally switched up the gameplay mechanics. So
they can milk it. They could have milked it even more. Trust me.
Too much.
But a game that I'm actually looking forward to, other than Halo, is a game that's an Xbox exclusive as of right now, and that is The Gunk. Well, Xbox and PC. Coming out the same day as Five Nights at Freddy's. I like the art style. I think I dig the gameplay, right? Like you're gonna sit here and you have the gunk that you're dealing with the gunk. I just like the name, just like saying the gunk. Especially Ghostbusters just came out, right? With the ectoplasm.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of dig this game. I don't remember where I saw this. This was definitely in some type of showcase. I don't know if it was the Game Awards last year. Or maybe the Microsoft Xbox showcase at E3, but I definitely saw this before, and it's an Xbox, is a console exclusive as of right now, and I am looking forward to this. I just like saying gunk. I mean, come on, when do you ever get a chance to say gunk?
That's right. Unless you're talking about plumbing.
Yeah,
you're probably never going to bring up the word the gunk. Okay, yeah, I do not remember this game whatsoever, but it does look cool. I just looked at a couple screenshots, so I'm about it. As long as it comes out physical.
I think it's in Game Pass. I believe it's coming out on Game Pass. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe.
I was just gonna say, yeah. I mean, if it's an Xbox console exclusive, it's definitely coming to Game Pass. I can guarantee. So I'll give it a whirl.
So Dave, it's that part of the show that we all love. everybody loves. It's the part of the show that we all try to get to, but epically fail. What have you been playing?
It's like a Christmas present every week, then.
It is.
Get to unwrap.
Listen,
talk
Christmas
about the games
1,
I've been
2,
playing.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's Christmas every week.
That's right. That's right. So I have been playing the amazing aforementioned Forza Horizon 5 via the Games Pass. I don't own the physical yet, but you can play it on Games Pass.
Made. Best driving game ever made. Not racing. Best driving game ever made.
Right. Yeah, because it's kind of. I mean, it is 100% open world. Right. You can go wherever you want. You can choose to partake in events. You can create your own events. You can just go off road and go riding up mountains and flying around volcanoes and jumping out of airplanes. Like, it's so good. It's so good. I'm about I think I'm more than halfway through the game. Yeah, I've been making a lot of progress.
Racing. You're actually making progress in racing.
Well, I mean, no matter what you do, you get XP, and the more XP you get, the closer you get to unlocking different parts of the main story, I guess, right? There's like 5 different sections, right? There's the straight racing, there's off-road stuff, there's like Baja racing, there's like PR stunts, which are all the big, like, kind of epic, wacky challenges. There's like 5 different things, and there's 4 different chapters in each one. So every time you get enough XP, they're like, you've unlocked the next level of the game. And you can choose which thing you want to open up, and then you can choose to do those events or not, but they, like, pop up on the map. And, yeah, man. I got over 60 cars in my stable. I own 3 houses. I'm looking fly with my outfits. I got a nice horn. I got the Windows sound. I got the little Windows ta-da, the little trumpet as my car horn. I'm flossing, man. I'm flossing in this game. So okay. I love it. Also been playing the Halo Infinite multiplayer on
nice.
my Series X.
So how you like it so far?
Well,
we'll get into the minutia later in the show, but just off the top of your head, how do you like the multiplayer as it stands now?
So the multiplayer gameplay is amazing. It's good.
Okay.
Love the new weapons. I think they're all pretty balanced really well. The only one that sucks, I think they nerfed the plasma pistol. It's probably the worst weapon in the game. They got rid of the plasma rifle in favor of the plasma carbine, which I think is cool, but I miss having the plasma pistol because it's always been there. But they got the Ravager, which is a new weapon, which is awesome. The new shotgun's called the Bulldog, which is really good. The energy sword and the hammer make a return. Rocket launcher's back. They got a couple of new heavy weapons. It's really good. They did a good job of mixing the old and the new. It's probably about half pre-existing weapons and half new weapons, which is awesome. A couple different playlists you can go into: big team battle, quick play. You can go up against bots, and every now and again they'll do custom playlists. Like they just had the Tenrai event, which is all like Japanese samurai themed, and you could win a bunch of different armor and skins and whatever else that were samurai themed. That just ended. Who knows if they're going to bring that back or if you can get that stuff again. I don't know. I unlocked a couple of that stuff, a couple of those things. The only thing I'll say about the gameplay is that they could definitely use more playlists. Hopefully when December 8th comes around, they're going to kick it open and have more playlists because there's going to be a lot more players coming into the game at that point. And they also need to bring back some other game modes. They definitely are missing a couple. Rally mode would be awesome to come back. That's the one that I really want to come back. Otherwise, though, it's great. I do have some criticisms, but I'm gonna save it because I know we're gonna talk about it a little later in the show. So
well, everybody else has the same criticisms, which we'll talk about later in the show.
Yeah.
And you know what? I won't have those criticisms at all.
Mm-hmm.
I won't share the public's same criticisms. You know why? Because I'll probably never play Halo Infinite multiplayer.
Probably? Oh, you definitely will never play Halo Infinite multiplayer.
There
you are
you go.
not a multiplayer fan. No.
There you go. Never play.
You gotta dip your toe in it. You gotta dip your toe in the water at least once and say, all right, I played it. I tried it. This is what the experience is. I'm good.
No, I'm okay. I'm good.
This guy.
You know what I've been playing? You know what I dipped my whole foot in, my leg, and my arm? I've been playing Nintendo Online Expansion Pack.
Why? Primarily, why?
Because you know what? It's a pretty damn good value, and I paid for it. That's why. I haven't played the DLC. I haven't played Animal Crossing DLC yet. But I got to be honest. I see no big lag in a lot of the the N64 games. I've really just been playing Mario Kart 64.
Mm-hmm.
And the Genesis. I'm playing the Genesis online.
Right.
And Musha is a really good game.
Musha's great, man.
I may splurge the money and spend $500 and getting it to have the physical because I'm starting to really like this game.
The only real compelling reason to get Nintendo Online is Musha, and you're just gonna buy it outright.
I'm just gonna buy it outright.
Yeah, which, by all means, if you have the money, buy yourself a copy of Musha. It's great.
Yeah, I'll buy Musha.
Yeah. I'm not okay. Just like Dan is never gonna do the Halo online multiplayer or any multiplayer for that matter, I am never gonna play the Nintendo Online expansion pack.
I'll take that bet. You'll play that before I play Halo multiplayer.
Okay. I will never buy it. If somebody has it, I'll try it because I'm curious to see how the experience is.
Take that back too.
That's different.
Part of a family share plan that may upgrade, that he will have to upgrade no matter what. So.
That's
true.
Yeah.
That's true. So.
Well, I wouldn't buy it on my own. Is what I'm saying.
Okay. All right.
I wouldn't buy it on my own.
Yeah, I believe that. I
wouldn't buy it on my own. You know, listen. It's up to a group vote, and I am only one man with one vote. I am not special, so I will be outvoted because everybody else plays Animal Crossing, and you know we're probably gonna get it. We haven't gotten it yet, though. We haven't gotten it.
Fantastic game. You need to finally buy and get into
Animal Crossing. I mean, I'm not. Well, I know.
Come on.
I'm not against it. I like designing.
Animal Crossing. Get in Animal Crossing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. With that said, we'll take a break. Mm-hmm. When we come back, we're getting to the top gaming news of last week. And we're back. Dave, let's get into the top gaming news of last week. And let's start off with the Golden Joystick Awards 2021. I forget about this every year.
Yeah, we do.
Be honest.
We both do.
They really should. I mean, listen, all the award shows should be just like in other forms of, entertainment, like be at the beginning of the following year. Right?
During Christmas too, right? Put them all during Christmas too, right? You get the Tonys, you get the Emmys, you get the Grammys, you get the Oscars, you get the damn Clio Awards for the commercials. Come on now, they're all right after the new year because that's how it works. It should go from January to December, one calendar year, and all of the games within that year. Yeah.
That's what it should go. But this is sort of a precursor to the actual Game Awards. And I'm not going to go through all the winners, but I want to sift through some of these notable winners. So, Best Storytelling went to Life is Strange True Colors. And I thought that was fitting, right?
Sure.
Like, that told, in my view, the best story at any other game. We haven't had Halo Infinite, but something tells me Halo Infinite's story is not going to be as profound as Life is Strange True Colors. Right?
Yeah, because it's really kind of intimate. It's close to home, right? It's all the interpersonal relationships in this kind of You know? Yeah.
I knew you would get a kick out of this. Best multiplayer game. It Takes Two. Took it home.
Of course.
Awesome game. We both loved it. I
Yeah.
think it surprised the heck out of me. I didn't think I would love it as much as I did. Right?
Right? Because, like, we played A Way Out, which was really fun. But it was good at the end of the day. It was a fun co-op experience. Better with 2 people, even though you can play it single player. But yeah, like It Takes Two was on another level.
On another level, I mean, it could have been in the running for best storytelling, right? Because the storytelling in that game was awesome, and then the
Storytelling
gameplay, the gameplay in that game, they had different styles of gameplay, right? Like, I mean, fighting. You had RPG elements. I mean, every level was like something
flying, shooting.
Different.
I mean, hand-to-hand combat. You name it, it's in there. Skitching or skateboarding, right?
Yeah,
right.
Best game expansion went to Ghost of Tsushima, right? Like that was awesome, and I think you really loved like having that category as far as like, best expansion.
Because we were talking about it before the show. We were talking about a lot of things all the time, but the debate came up last year. Do remakes count in the Game of the Year talk? And this year we had a debate. Does DLC count in Game of the Year talks? And
it's new material. It's like, is it enough new material? It's new material.
Well, right? and that was kind of the criteria for the remake. Is there enough new in the game to consider it for one of these game categories, right? Genre or Game of the Year, right? But this is a clever way to nominate the hard work that all the developers do and get around the controversy, right? Because you'll say, the Iki Island expansion for Ghost of Tsushima, which is fantastic. It is very good. It is a nice little 10-hour bite-sized chunk that you can kind of get into. I think it's about 10 hours, maybe like a little bit less. And it's a way to honor that and get around the controversy, right?
Yeah, I believe in that. I give you that. Best gaming hardware of the year went to the PS5 in a dual sense, right?
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Studio of the year. This was kind of like something totally different. I don't remember covering the Golden Joystick Awards last year. I don't think I did, but I didn't realize that they did their best studio day, and they went to Capcom. Capcom got it, right?
Resident Evil was great. They had zero controversies. Right, there was no negative stories about them during the year.
Monster Hunter, right? Monster Hunter,
Monster Hunter, and Resident Evil. So,
okay, that actually worked. Actually, was pretty good.
Yeah,
and we got. So what they do is they break up the joystick, where they break up sort of the different categories to the different systems, right? So we got the best PC game of the year, which was Hitman 3. We got the best Nintendo game of the year, which was Metroid Dread. They got the best Xbox game of the year, which they gave to Psychonauts 2. I got no complaints about that. And the best PlayStation game, which actually went to a multi-platform game, which was Resident Evil Village.
Right. And this is another. I mean, this is another thing that I think the Golden Joystick solved, because we were talking about the controversial nomination of Cyberpunk for
best RPG.
For best RPG, right? Yeah. And, you had kind of brought up the point is like, well, they're basing it on the best version of that game, right? The PC version. And I was like, well, are they? And how do you discount all of the issues with the PS4, the Xbox, Sony taking it off the store? It was so bad. The issues with the even on the PS5 and the Series X still had issues, and this is a way to get around that, right? Because you're acknowledging each individual category, or you're acknowledging each individual console and the highlight game of that particular console for that year. So you can say specifically, the PC version of Cyberpunk is the best version, and we're going to nominate it. And when you get to the Xbox Awards, you won't see it. When you get to the PlayStation Award, you probably won't see it in there. And like that, I can kind of get behind, because you're specifically saying this version of this game deserves praise and possibly the win. So
I would say again, and I know we talked about this more offline. Over the years, right, when early on in like the 6th generation, where you would still have the sports game, right? They'll have the sports game that's on the GameCube, Xbox, and PS2, but they would still bring it out for like the N64 and the original PlayStation, right? When those games, I think those were the sort of last years of the sports games being nominated for like big awards, right? Because we saw the progress from the 4th and 5th generation to now the 6th generation of hardware.
There was a substantial jump.
Substantial jump, right? Where those games would be nominated, but they're nominating the PS2 Xbox version, not the N64 PlayStation version, or which were lacking in graphics and lacking in features.
Right.
It's the same game, right? In name,
at its core,
at its core,
it's
it's NBA, it's the NBA game for 2002 or 3. But it's really a different game when you play it on the 5th generation compared to the 6th generation. So they're obviously nominating the best version of those games, which were on the 6th generation platforms. And then you move up to the Master Chief Collection, where I forgot what it was nominated for, but it was like they obviously were nominating the Xbox version and not the PC version, because the PC version had lots of issues. Not to say that the Xbox version didn't have issues, but it was like sort of people had lots of issues with the PC version compared to the console version. So I can understand where, the game is fantastic, Cyberpunk, if you're playing it on PC, and, the game is playable if you're playing it on the PS5 or Xbox Series X. But if you're going to play it on the older generation, right? Like, to me, I look at it like, I'm playing it on, if you play it on the PS1 or the N64 / Xbox One / the original PlayStation, like that's you play it on the old generation, then that's not the one that's being nominated. It's the PC version that's being nominated. So that's how I took it, and I understand it because Jeff Keighley even said it's the PC version that's the one that he played it on, and that's the version that's being nominated.
Yeah, I mean.
And a lot of those bugs, not every bug, but a lot of those bugs have been fixed since then as well. Because they're not nominating. I would assume they're not talking about the launch version of these games. They're talking about the game now, as is.
Yeah, and the only reason that is because it's not January to December. It's December to November, and this came out right afterwards, so it has the luxury of the year's worth of patches, right? If the Game Awards was in January, Cyberpunk wouldn't be nominated. Maybe like best soundtrack, maybe best graphics. If you're going to talk about the PC version when it's like running proper, maybe. But yeah, I mean, it does have the benefit of the year of patches, right?
So this was a weird category for me because, in my view, who votes for the Golden Joystick Awards then, right? When they have Critics' Choice Award, which went to Deathloop. And, I know Deathloop is probably going to win Game of the Year at the Game Awards, too, because the critics love it. But
it's a great game, man.
Who's voting? And if this is the Critics' Choice, like the Critics' Choice Award is always weird to me, because it's like, then who's voting for the critics are voting, right?
Well, I bet
are voting for the other categories, too.
So I bet. Well, I mean, I'm certain they have a board of members, which deliberate on what gets nominated and then what wins. I think the Critics' Choice Awards is open to any and all professional critics. So maybe Jeff Gertzman, who is a critic, games journalist and all that, but he's not on the board, would maybe be able to get a say.
Well, I think
I don't know if that's true, but
just like the Game Awards, Awards is made up. It's not 1/3 of anything. It's like it's a formula of people who are on the board, the Game Awards boards, the critics, and you can vote, fan voting, but fan voting is like a low percentage.
It's 1 to 2%. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know who does the voting for the Golden Joystick Awards, right? I would just assume it would be, critics like IGN, GameSpot.
Well, you got to be on the board.
Giant Bomb.
Yeah, you got to be on, because you can like, just like the Oscars, you can be a critic and not be on the judging board.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think, and you kind of have to, I think, be, I guess, nominated or chosen to say like, hey, we want you to be on the board to judge the movies this year, right? They'll go out to Roger Ebert when he was still alive and go, come in, we want you to judge these particular
Roger
categories
Ebert's dead?
or whatever.
No,
I said
he's
when
dead.
he was alive. Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
He's dead?
I'm sorry.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
he's
you
dead.
spoiled that for me. I didn't. Wow, when did that happen?
Spoiled that for you like it's a movie.
I didn't know that. He just killed it. I didn't even know he died.
I just killed it. Well, he's been killed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's died. He's passed away. You know what? A real rest in peace.
There you
R.I.P.
go.
And then they have sort of like their ultimate, which is like the ultimate game of the year, right? So it surpasses console. It's the game of all games, and they gave
Right.
it
Game of all.
Resident Evil Village.
Wow, for game of the year, Resident Evil
Ultimate
Village,
game of the year, not just regular game of the year, not mighty
Right.
game of the year, not
Right.
super game of the year,
ultimate game of the year.
ultimate game of the year.
Wow. Okay. Like it's a very good game, but it didn't shake up the formula in any way. Right? Same game. You play as a dude. You play as Ethan from part 7.
It perfected what they started in part 7. It sort of built upon it and perfected it, and it was a little bit more action, a little bit less of the spooky, right? So I
Yeah.
can actually play it.
Yeah, I
right?
mean it was
not a lot of spooky.
right. It was like Resident Evil 5 to 4. It was kind of the comparison, right? They made it somewhere
Really?
in the middle.
I thought it would be 4. I thought it would be more on the 4 side.
Or maybe it's more like 4 versus the first one.
Yeah.
I guess you could make that. Yeah, because 7 was like the first one, and 4 was a little more actiony. I mean, sure. But I didn't see anything revolutionary about it. Like, 4 was revolutionary. 4 shook it up
7
a lot.
7. I think 7 again changed the formula. It gave us everything it gave us stuff that we weren't expecting, but Resident Evil 8 or Village built upon that, and it wasn't revolutionary. It just it gave us more of something that we really wanted, right? Well, with people, not we. 'Cause I didn't want any of it. Because
No, you're like zombies? No, I'm out.
no, I'm good with zombies. It was just too werewolves at this point. It's not even
Well,
zombies.
it was part of it's werewolves. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I don't know. I just like with all the crazy great, like with like Deathloop, Returnal, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Halo, which is right around the corner, Psychonauts 2. I don't know. Resident Evil gets a tip of the cap, but it does not get the award for me.
okay, that's fair enough. You know what else didn't get the award? Cyberpunk 2077. But
Good thing.
new Cyberpunk players on Steam are flooding the Steam page with positive reviews.
Oh shoot. Yeah.
Right? Is this game actually really good now? Does it deserve all the praise and all the nominations? Because it got nominated for Best RPG and I think Best Graphical Game, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken, for the Game Awards.
Because it's super pretty, yeah. Well, when your game is on sale for $10, yeah, it's gonna get a good review, right? If I spend $10 on Cyberpunk and it was the mess that it was when it came out, I would go, well, it's only $10.
You know what?
I would overlook a lot of that stuff.
I almost debated getting it for the Xbox, to be honest.
Hey, and
I was
now
for the
with
PlayStation, why not the Xbox?
right, and now with the year's worth of patches to the best version, the PC version, it's certainly come a long way. It has gotten a lot more stable. They fixed a lot of issues. So yeah, I mean, sure. It's the same thing that happened with The Witcher, by the way, right? The Witcher was a hot mess when it came out. It was very poor on, Xbox and PlayStation consoles. And they spent a year, they spent 2 years, in fact, putting out free DLC and patches and all that. And they made the game good. They made the game a classic, right? It got to that point. So I have no doubt in my mind that CD Projekt Red will take this to classic status. Now, there's probably still going to be some people that are like, nah, I was already burned once. I don't want to go back to the table. But anybody new who's coming into the game now is going to be like, yeah, this game is great. I don't know what you're talking about. You know, that's the year that it needed, right? That's what, in my eyes, I think 343 Studios said, okay, very poor reception to the trailer that we put out for Halo. We're going to take a step back, wait a year, and put it out. And if the single player is anything near what the multiplayer is, it's going to be amazing. So I think that's what Cyberpunk needed. It needed that year wait. And if it came out now, like I think everyone would be saying, yeah, game of the year potential.
Did we get the next gen patch for it?
No, and I think they're eschewing the next gen patch in favor of other stuff
DLC.
For the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think they're focusing on new content versus the next gen patch, which it still
makes
looks
sense.
Super pretty, and the PC version is amazing.
It makes sense. It's something that they should have did in the first place instead of planning for the next gen patch. You know, they should just make sure it works on current gen at the time when it came out. Right. Well, let's focus. I'm glad you brought up 343 and Halo Infinite. All right, because it's not all sunny in Pennsylvania. Philadelphia is in Pennsylvania. I'm sorry. Philadelphia is in Pennsylvania. It's not all sunny in Pennsylvania.
It's not always sunny in New Mombasa would be the Halo joke, because that's where a lot of the game takes place.
You know what? It's not always sunny in Morocco, Dave. It's
New Mombasa. It's New Mombasa. That's
right.
where the Covenant.
I want to go to Morocco. Okay, It's not always sunny in Morocco.
Okay.
People are up in arms over some of the egregious microtransactions of this game, especially the colors. If you want to play as a blue Spartan, it'll cost you $8. $8. So it's cheaper to get a hot dog at a hot dog stand in the city or a pretzel than it would be to play as a blue Spartan.
So let me go ahead and break this down for you, right? Let me go ahead and clarify that the $8 blue coat of paint is for a specific armor set, right? They lock down the different colors that you're able to choose for the different armor sets. The basic armor set, you can be blue. My character is currently blue, so that's okay. But there are custom armor sets and different pieces and whatnot that are locked behind gates or a battle pass or an $8 charge just to be able to play as the color blue. So for someone who doesn't play multiplayer games, what all multiplayer games are doing is Fortnite, Call of Duty, Battlefield, and all that. The way that Call of Duty works, looking at Cold War, when you go online, you get levels for your character, right? You get progression levels is essentially what it is, right? It's not really a skill level. It's like you played so much, you got so much XP, you're now level 20. And every level will be a new unlock, or every couple of levels will be a new unlock. This could be like, I don't know, an XP boost, or it could be like a new skin, or a new piece of armor, or like a little trinket that hangs off your shotgun, right? And some of the stuff will be gated behind a battle pass, right? So the battle pass is in addition to the game, right? Where Cold War is like $60 or $70 for next generation or whatever it is. But with the battle pass, you get some additional bonuses. So you get like, I think like additional XP when you're like playing, and you can unlock specific things. So specific coats of paint or specific different types of gear, right? So if you get to like level 20, you get the, I don't know, like the grenade trinket, but you need the battle pass to use it. right? So that's kind of a common thing. So you don't get an unlock at level 20 if you don't pay the $10 or $20 for the battle pass, right? And Halo does the same thing. But the way it was at launch was terrible. So normally when you play a match, you would get some level of XP, right? For any first-person shooter, right? You get a little bit of XP, right? And Halo would give you no XP. There would be challenges, and you'd have to do the challenges. And if you didn't do a challenge, you wouldn't get any XP, right? The challenges are daily or weekly or whatever it is, right? And it was real bad, so you couldn't get any XP. And then beyond that, when you did get XP, all of the stuff, or a lot of the stuff, was locked behind the Battle Pass, which is an additional, I think, $10 for the Battle Pass. So it's an uphill grind that's like this as opposed to like this, and half the stuff you unlock you can't even use because you need the Battle Pass. All right? It's bad. Not to mention that all previous versions of Halo allowed you to customize your Spartan with a primary, secondary, and in the later games, a tertiary color. So if you want to be red, white, and blue, like the American flag, or purple and green, or whatever, you could just do that. So now they allow you certain sets of color, and then you can unlock special color palettes, or in this case, the blue for whatever this custom armor set is. All right. Fans were, and still are, up in arms. So the one thing 343 Studios did was every match you play, you get a guaranteed 50 XP. It is 1,000 XP to get to the next level, and I don't think it scales. I think it's always 1,000. So you'd have to play straight 20 matches to go up a level, which is a lot. And matches are anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes typically, on average. So that's kind of bad. They've just come out with a different XP scale. So I think your first game you play during the week is 300 XP, and then it goes down to 250, 200, and it scales all the way down to 50. 50 is the minimum you can get per game. So they're fixing it even further. I believe that by the time Halo goes like fully live, when the
December 8th,
when that comes out, there's going to be another overhaul to the multiplayer. Because fans are vocal, fans are angry, and rightfully so. I'm angry too, because it's like, look, I get it. It's a free-to-play game. I get, 75%, 80% of your player base is probably never going to pay for this game. And I know you got to recoup some of that money, but they've gone too far.
Technically, this is a beta, right? They released it November 15th, but it's technically a beta officially.
It is.
They could have avoided some of this stuff by putting it behind either the paywall of buying the game or Games Pass, which would have been a little bit more, which everyone thought multiplayer would be free with Games Pass, right? So that's how you could recoup some of the costs by adding it to there and using some of the calculations for the Game Pass, tiers. So
that would be a bit better. That would be a bit better,
right?
They would still do the microtransactions to some degree.
True, but
guaranteed.
If you wanted to play the color blue, it probably would have cost you $3 instead of $8.
Yeah, still kind of ridiculous, but like it's.
But I'm glad to see that level of anger for Xbox.
I'll call it out. No, it's shitty, man. It's 100% shitty. It is trash on the Dave scale. I'm sorry.
Okay, good.
The multiplayer progression is trash on the Dave scale.
Wow. Dave gave a trash on the Dave scale to something Xbox did.
Listen, I'll be critical, man.
Monumental.
I'll be critical. Fable, trash. Halo multiplayer progression and Halo Infinite, trash.
I can't believe you put Fable
and
Halo Infinite multiplayer in the same sentence.
That's right. That's right, baby.
Fable
right,
is good on the Dave scale. Sorry.
It's great. Yeah, it's a great waste of $50.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
I told you. I've told this story before.
I know. We're not gonna get into it. Fable
I bought it. No.
Fantastic.
I bought the game for $50. I beat it in a weekend and returned it to the damn store where I bought it.
All right. Well, do that with Call of Duty
back.
every year. Do that with Call of Duty every year.
Yeah, but it's a fun, good experience. It was trash.
Fun. You beat it. It was fun. You didn't beat something. Why would you beat something that you hate that wasn't fun? That doesn't make any sense.
It was no. After I mean, because I paid $50 for it. That's why I wanted to get my money's worth out of it. I wanted to see how the story ended. Right? I was in it, and it turned out to be a terrible story. Turned out to be terrible gameplay. Ugh, no, I'm not. I'm sorry, I'm not getting into it. We can't get into it.
We're not going to get into it. How wrong Dave is, because Fable's fantastic on a Dave scale. But we will get into Sony entering the mobile space. Sony just filed a patent for a PlayStation mobile controller that looks just like every other mobile controller out there that Xbox has done. It looks like a mobile version of the Switch Joy-Cons, right? Or with it, but just the PlayStation version.
It's the mobile version of the PlayStation, right? It's just got you got your damn cell phone in the middle of it, and it's you got the left side of the PS4 controller and the right side of the PS4 controller.
It looks just like what I thought we didn't know it was called the DualSense, but we thought it would be obviously the DualShock 5, right? Mm-hmm. We thought, because we saw patents for having a screen in the middle of the controller, and we thought that could be what the DualShock 5 would be. Mm-hmm. But it turned out to be the DualSense. I think this is more of an about time, right? Like the mobile space just makes sense. There was a report that Sony is sort of leaving Japan, right, and focusing more in the West with the PlayStation consoles, and that's just because mobile gaming or gaming on a go has taken over Japan, right? Like if you know anything about Japan, they love gaming on the go, right? They love their handhelds. That's why the Switch is doing gangbusters in Japan. And to be fair, people can't even find them PS5 in Japan. Still, right? Still scarce. But this makes sense. They even have a dedicated studio. I mean, Sony is evolving, right? They bought a studio over the summer to port their first party games to PC because they want to get into the PC market, and they have a studio directly to make mobile games of their first party IP. So this just makes sense. Microsoft is in it, with their sort of I call it the Xbox Joy-Cons with your phone, and xCloud. So it's just like an about time. Like this is something that's probably been in the works for years, since the Vita. The Vita. But
I'll tell you what, this is definitely the nail in the coffin for the Vita too. So
still having hope, baby. My E3 prediction every year will come true.
Nah, this is it, Dan. This is it. This is now the time you got to give up the ghost.
You know what they're gonna call the controllers? You know what they're gonna call the controllers? They can call it the Vita 2.
The Vita 2. And then I'll be
half right.
No. You said new console. You always say they're gonna put out a new handheld.
Yeah, when you put your iPhone in it, it'll be a console.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
Yes.
So I'm just to kind of touch on some of the stuff they announced. I'm kind of curious. There is a new Wipeout game coming. It's called Wipeout Rush, and it's a card-based racing game. I don't know what that means, but I'm intrigued. So
you would be.
I am very curious, as well as a new mobile God of War game, which would be awesome. So
we already had a mobile God of War game, right?
We've had a couple of mobile God of War games. Yeah. I had
that weren't bad. They were pretty good. I
had it for my Razer phone. It was kind of cool. It was a Java-based game. It's kind of fun. I beat the hell out of that game. Mm-hmm.
Okay. But let's go through another another Sony rumor that seems to be, we're getting a lot of steam on it, and it looks like it may be true. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of talk right around E3 earlier this year, where I said I may use this as my prediction because there's a lot of talk of Sony having a remaster or of a game, of a game of an older franchise, right? I thought maybe it could be, I named a couple of franchises that I would love. Twisted Metal was one of the franchises, right? Like, I was like, oh, I would love for that to be sort of the remake, soup to nuts remake, like Resident Evil 2 that Sony is doing. But it looks like a lot of rumors or leaks are coming out that it may be Chrono Cross that may be remade and coming out to be a PlayStation exclusive. Right. And they're saying it may be announced in the next 2 months, too. Right. So we could talk about the Game Awards. Right. Jeff Keighley did say that there's a game that he's been wanting to announce for the last 2.5 years. Right.
If there's a game that's going to be announced in the next couple of months, got to be at the Game Awards. All right.
We could get a state of play. Right, at some point, right? At the beginning of the year, we get a state of play in January, right? It's a little bit smaller.
Because it was a PlayStation 1 exclusive, right? This was back when Square and Sony were like this. It was after the sad Nintendo breakup, and they were just putting out hit after hit. Yeah. Part of the summer of games from Squaresoft, and it was definitely the best of the three. Not as good as Chrono Trigger, but definitely the one to remake. And
just imagine if they would have put Chrono Cross out on an N64. It still would have been nominated for Game of the Year, but they would have been talking about the PS1 version, not the N64 version.
Because they also put it out on the
just to bring it back to an earlier conversation.
Well, you wouldn't have any of the damn full motion video. That's exactly why they went to PlayStation. Because it was disc-based, and there was so much damn storage, 650 megs on a damn disc, as opposed to, like, I don't know, on a good day, maybe 64, maybe 100 megs on a cart. I mean, if even, very expensive memory on other cartridges.
That's why I was trying to tell you, the best version of the game, the best foot forward is the thing that's being promoted as or nominated for all the awards.
Right. So, well, anyway, I mean, Chrono Cross is the one, right?
Chrono Trigger. I know you're really excited about this.
Well,
this is true.
Chrono Trigger is the better game, but the problem with Chrono Trigger is that it's sprite based, and it's a lot of fine detail in that game. And Square has not been the best when updating their video games for the modern era, all right? They did have some wins. The Dawn of Souls, the Final Fantasy 1 and 2, Dawn of Souls for PS1. And
oh, yeah, I remember that.
And GBA, and also on the PSP, I think. That was a great update, 16-bit update to Final Fantasy 1 and 2. And 4, 5, and 6 on the GBA, Final Fantasy 4, 5, and 6. They were great, although they were mostly just straight ports. They did some work to 4, but 5 and 6 were more or less ports, but they were good. And all the new stuff that they added was great in those games, done really well. The Steam versions of 5 and 6 and Chrono Trigger.
You're really choked up over the Steam version.
It was bad. It was terrible. The Steam version.
Cyberpunk 2077 terrible?
Yes, actually. Okay. The Chrono Trigger.
We're not gonna nominate those for ports of the year.
No. Chrono Trigger, all of the tile sets were off, which they fixed, I think. Either they fixed or somebody modded it to make it look proper.
They probably modded it.
And
that sounds familiar.
Yeah, and Final Fantasy 5 and 6 went with a completely new art style, and it was terrible. Oh, yeah, it just didn't hit the mark. And now that Final Fantasy 1 through 6, again, are being re-released and re-updated and all that, and some fans are kind of divided, not so great. So, yeah, I'm glad they're doing Chrono Cross because it's mostly 3D.
Rumored. We don't know.
Oh, I'm gonna go all in with my chip stack and bet it on Chrono Cross announcement at the Game Awards. Because I've heard multiple people talk about this from multiple different sources. I feel like this is the thing. Yeah, I feel like they're going in on this. Right, I hope so, at least. I hope so.
Well, another rumor that we have that may be a thing in probably is going to be true, right? We've heard multiple reports over the last like year about this.
Mm-hmm.
New Bioshock game will feature two. We know they're developing a new Bioshock game. That's not a secret, right?
Yep.
But the sort of the rumor is that it's going to feature two main cities, right? Instead of one main area, and it will be called Bioshock Isolation, where you're sort of, in the first two games you were underwater, the third game you were in the air, and this game is rumored to be underground. So I envision sort of like a Fallout before they open the vault type scenario, right? So what do you think about that? I'm still waiting for this Bioshock Vita game that never came out. I would love to know the idea that they would have had for that.
Right. Well, I mean, there was reports of this being an open world game, or at least open world leanings.
More open world-ish, like Halo Infinite, right? With more like Far Cry, and you got to liberate a bunch of outposts, right? Where this is the map. You can go anywhere on the map, but you have to liberate certain areas, right?
Yeah. So looking at that's a possibility. There is a slide here from their pitch presentation, which has two cities, one above and one below, like an above ground and an underground type situation. So you could be traveling between those two different things and taking on various missions and whatnot, their version of an outpost or whatever it is, right? And you get a bunch of missions. There's like a main overarching, like, this is what needs to be done. And then you can kind of pick up different missions as you go along and upgrade your character and all that. So it could be cool. I'm a little bit nervous because Ken Levine, the mastermind behind the first one, who came back to do part 3, which are the good ones, he's not involved in this anymore, right? It's not Irrational Games. It's 2K and whichever studio they have doing it. So I'm very cautious about getting my hopes up about this game. But
well, my take when I saw the pitch slide, was more of like Zelda, right? Like the original Zelda, where it's topside and obviously you're underground, but it's sort of like the dark city and the light city, where it's the same cities, just dark, right? Like so maybe it's the same city above ground, and then maybe in flashbacks, and then it's the same city that's below ground, that's in the vault, so to speak, right? Because it's all the world's going to shits,
right?
Type of game. I would love to see, even if they don't use that concept, because that's just a pitch, right? We know pitches, famously, the Days Gone 2 pitch got kiboshed, but we don't know what they have in the works. I would love to see where you're in the Big Daddy, and that's how you traverse the land, right? You're this unstoppable force because you have the armor set of the Big Daddy, and that's how you get around, because maybe being topside is poisonous, right? Like the big bang happened, and being topside, you can't breathe. You need to be in like a Big Daddy to survive, and that's how you traverse. And then when you get to certain, like, I'm using Fallout as an example.
Right? That could be kind of interesting, right? It's an irradiated waste above ground.
Yeah,
everything's kind of destroyed. Below ground is a little more secure. That could be kind of interesting.
But you can't use the Big Daddy below ground. You have to get out of it, and now you have a different style of gameplay when you do that, right?
Right.
You gotta try to liberate these outposts that are below ground. So I could see that, and I could like that. That sounds cool to me. I mean, I'm not a big Bioshock fan by any means. The third one, I was more into the third one. Honestly, I like it. I know the first, third, and second are how critics and people
it's 1, 3,
sort of
2,
view.
yeah.
For me,
best to worst.
For me, it's total opposite. It's 3, 2, 1. Right? Like I kind of like the third one because it was a little bit more actiony. I like the second one because I am Big Daddy. And the first one, the one everybody loves, I know, the twist at the end, which we won't spoil, but I think we've probably spoiled in past episodes, but I won't spoil it here.
God, it's a 15-year-old game at this point now.
It's not something that appealed to me personally, right? Like I know the spoiler, the twist at the end will go down in video game infamy, right? Like it's.
Well,
it's
I
famous
think
for
it's I
that,
think it's
but-
okay to talk about it. If you haven't played the original Bioshock, skip ahead. I don't know, a minute or two.
Well,
or
you
whatever
can
it is,
get the
but-
Bioshock collection on PS4.
You could, yeah. I mean,
that's
like-
not, the twist is cool, but getting to the twist is not something that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
That gameplay wasn't really for me.
Well, I will say that the gameplay in Part 2 is vastly superior to the gameplay in Part 1. Mainly because they made the hacking minigame actually fun, and they allowed you to dual wield. So you could have your weapon in the left hand and a plasmid in the right hand, where in the first one you had to flip back and forth.
Yeah.
And they kind of balance the weapons a little bit better. And obviously you're playing as a big daddy, which is awesome. So your like melee weapon is the giant drill, which is badass. So good.
You know, I want to be badass. I don't want to be spooky.
Mhm.
So I kind of
I mean, one was definitely more spooky and whatnot.
I played
but-
2 before I played 1 because it was like free with PlayStation Plus and the PS3.
Right,
So I
right,
played.
right.
I didn't even play the first one. I played the second one first.
I don't know if that ruins. I mean, it ruins some of the story elements, but I don't think it ruins the twist of the first game.
It doesn't ruin the twist, but the gameplay to get to the twist, it does ruin. Like I rather play the second one personally from a
With better gameplay.
standpoint.
Yeah. So you're kind of going back to, an older version. But I really think the story, the atmosphere, and the twist really made that game. The last 1/3 of the game is kind of garbage because after you get the twist, you just have to run and try and beat Atlas, and that's like the thing. And it devolves into a big boss battle where you just pump a bunch of ammo into him. It's not really that great, but when you get to Andrew Ryan, and he kind of reveals the whole big thing, it's like, oh my god, crazy, so good.
So the last thing on our list, Dave,
Mm-hmm.
Keanu Reeves, and no, we're not going to be talking about Cyberpunk
Oh
2077.
no,
Keanu Reeves did a Q&A, and somebody asked him, would he love to see any of his characters in Mortal Kombat because
Mhm.
that they're working on Mortal Kombat 12. Well, that's the rumor that they're working on. And listen, worst kept secret. We know they're working on Mortal Kombat 12, right? Because 12 compared to 11, so that's going to be a big thing for them, and they're going to need DLC characters to push it. Keanu Reeves said he does not want to see John Wick or Neo in a Mortal Kombat game. I gotta say, I don't know about John Wick, but I would love to see Neo in Mortal Kombat. That would be awesome.
I'll take them both, man. I'll take them both.
I just thought about John
I'll take his
Wick.
I'll
you
take
got
his
the
character
Terminator.
from the Lake House, man. Keanu Reeves is just badass across the board. He's good stuff, man. I mean, Neo, you would want the one, right?
I would want the one because of the Superman powers, right? Because
Mhm.
Neo is the one,
Mhm.
and you can have it to where like you're in the Matrix, right? Like you get sucked into the Matrix. That's where you got to fight, right?
Oh,
And-
sure.
And when you're in the computer, you can do anything you want, right?
Mhm.
You can do anything
Mhm.
creatively you want, and I think it would be so badass that he's like not bleeding; he's like bleeding codes, right? Because
Mhm.
like that would be awesome.
Oh yeah. With the green and black ones and zeros flying off him, yeah.
I just don't think I don't think right now, because he has both movies coming out and both franchises aren't done yet, he doesn't want to have them associated with that sort of gore, right?
I mean,
Because,
it's an over-the-top
Neo-
bloodbath. It's a hard R video game. They're ripping limbs off.
Neo would need to get the animation to have the spear go through his head and go through his brain and pull his brain out of his head, right? Type of thing. And I don't think he wants that, but I guarantee for Mortal Kombat 20, right? When Keanu Reeves is old and
And he needs some money.
and John Wick and the Matrix is rebooted,
Mhm.
he won't care, right? Like he won't care. Look
Well,
at
I don't
Arnold
think anyone's gonna care at that point.
Yeah, look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Like
Arnold's awesome, man. Arnold's awesome.
Yeah,
Terminator
he's
is
in
forever.
He's in Terminator 11, and there are no more Terminator movies with him in it, right? Like as the main bad guy or good.
Yeah,
guy,
but he
so.
was in Genesis. That
He
was
was
the
in
tie-in for
Genesis.
it. Yeah.
So-
So I mean, I get
That-
it. I get why he's not wanting to put his character in there. And you need his likeness.
Yes, you need the likeness of Keanu Reeves.
Right. You can't just have a Neo lookalike. It's just not going to work.
And all of this could be a red herring because he maybe is in the game and wants to throw people off because Mortal Kombat 12 is not even announced, let alone a DLC for.
That's true. It's true.
We're like that's like 2025 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's it. That's all the news we got post Thanksgiving. Dave, you got any good plans for the rest of the rest of the week?
Well, I put up all my Christmas decorations. My tree is up. Everything's good. My house is lit. It's the most lights I've had. It's going to be the highest electric bill I've ever had. What's that?
Most wonderful time of the year, Dave.
It is the most wonderful time of the year. So I am loving it. Christmas songs are in full effect. But
all right,
gaming-wise,
McDonald's, you're loving it.
That's right. That's right. But gaming-wise, I'm going to be playing some Halo Infinite because it's fantastic up until the launch of the single player. And then I'm going to pivot.
Okay. I actually want to play 12 minutes, right? I mean, it's on Games Pass, I think. And it's the exclusivity is coming to an end where it's coming out on the PlayStation and Switch, I think, in next month, if I'm not mistaken, in January. Could be wrong about the date, but I know it's coming up to where it's going to come out on all platforms. I definitely want to get into that.
I hear it's a banana story.
I hear it's been in the store, and I want to get into it. It wasn't nominated for a lot of games at the Game Awards.
No, I don't think it did really well.
But I think but it was one of the most interesting games that we saw when we saw Next Generation, right?
It was cool. I mean, it had a big name cast in there, Elijah Wood among other people, and you basically play the same 12 minutes over and over again. And each time you play, you get a little bit more of the story, and you can choose to do things differently based on your past experiences. So it's kind of like Deathloop, except much more contained. And the runs I believe are exactly 12 minutes. So yeah. I mean, it's free on Games Pass right now. So I may have to check that out as well.
And I definitely want to play some more Forza Horizon 5 and get into Halo Infinite, the campaign, when it actually comes out.
Oh my God. It's almost here, man.
I'll be there. So
all right. That is episode 296 in the books, folks. We want to thank you guys for listening to the show, liking, commenting, doing all the good stuff that you guys do. If you want to interact with us, and we know that you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. Also, we are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. You can check out all of the fine podcasts featured on there at gamingpodcastalliance.com if you're looking for more gaming goodness. So, please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.